Well, undoubtedly, Nati, it's quite a number of issues that will top the agenda. So you look at, first and foremost, obviously, the impact out of the war between Russia and Ukraine. So it's really having a terrible impact in the continent. So you have about 40 African economies that are severely exposed in terms of the food insecurity, and now the issues about how does the bank work so hard in terms of cushioning those countries, but also making sure that the basic commodities where we've seen the prices going up, how can the bank really, for example, help the countries be able to navigate that particular situation? So far, over $1.5 billion has been set aside to try and alleviate the plight of those countries that have been affected, because some of them do source wheat, soybeans and maize from countries like Ukraine and Russia as well. But also another very important issue here, Nati, has to be the climate change in Africa. It's really having a terrible impact in the continent. You look at the Southern Africa, the devastating floods that you have seen. You see the crippling droughts in the Horn of Africa. You look at the Sahel region in West Africa as well, where desertification is a major concern. So the bank is playing a very pivotal role in terms of making sure that countries are able to bounce back from all these concurrent crises.
All right, Khayelihle, as we wrap up this conversation, just one quick question. What about food security? That's another area of concern, isn't it?
Very much so, because food insecurity is another major concern for the African Development Bank Group. So they're working so hard in terms of making sure that they do empower the African farmers to have sufficiency, but also be able to avail the resources. Because, for example, Africa still does have a largest amount of arable land, but you do have this concern food insecurity. And also with the COVID-19 impact, that's another problem as well that is still quite common in the continent, as the economies are still being revived and be able to meet their quite, maximum, as it were. And it's a very exciting time for the Ghanaian capital, because also this meeting has not been held in person for the past 2 years due to the pandemic. So there's a buzz, and lots of people are flocking to Accra to be able to experience this particular experience.
Khayelihle, Khumalo coming to us live there from Accra. Thank you so much for that.